Hello, my name is Eilish Feeley. I am a professionally qualified genealogist and I've been asked by Longford Library and Heritage Services to give you a short talk on using DNA testing for family history research. DNA testing, or genetic genealogy as it has become known as, is becoming increasingly popular with those researching their ancestral connections. Several companies now provide DNA testing for genealogy purposes, and these include Ancestry, MyHeritage, 23andMe, and more recently, Find My Past. Remember, DNA results should not be used in isolation, but as an add-on to standard research methods for family history. 3 types of genetic genealogy testing are available. Autosomal is the most commonly used. It is suitable for investigating close ancestry and cousin matching. Both males and females can avail of this test. Y-DNA testing is used to follow the male or patrilineal line and is most commonly used for surname studies, for example, the Farrell family's surname study. Mitochondrial DNA can be taken by both male and female and tracks the matriline. The most commonly used DNA test, which is the autosomal test, can help in establishing whether individuals share close family connections. It is also commonly used in adoption cases and where there may be lack of documentation. This test can identify previously unknown genetic relatives along with emigration pathways of earlier generations. Y-DNA is helpful in finding connections between two people of the same surname or whether families of the same surname are related. It can also give a time frame within which two individuals shared an ancestor on the patrilineal line, and it is also helpful in adoption cases. Mitochondrial DNA testing can help prove or disprove a connection on the female line and is often used to explore ancient and ethnic origins. The basic steps for undertaking a DNA test for family research involves contacting one of the testing companies online and purchasing a test kit. Be sure to watch out for special offers, as often companies reduce their prices at holiday periods. The kit will be sent to you in the post and involves a simple saliva test or cheek swab, which is returned to the testing company, and your results will be sent to you via the company's online mailing system. I have provided what I hope is a simple explanation of the basic science behind DNA testing here in this slide. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, and when organisms and humans reproduce, they pass on a portion of their DNA to their offspring. The term centimorgan, which you will see in your DNA results, is used to describe how much DNA and the length of the specific segment of DNA you share with your relatives or cousin matches. Based on the shared centimorgan, DNA tests estimate how you and your matches are related. This chart shows you the amount of centimorgans of DNA shared between various relatives, and you see there in the center where it says self, you can see just below it. So self would be in yourself and a child would share between 2,376 and 3,720 centimorgans of DNA. Now this will become clear as you have your DNA tests done and you see the shared centimorgans in your cousin matches. I've included in the following slides some screenshots of my DNA results for illustration purposes. Now I tested with Ancestry.com, and I'm not advocating that you test with any particular company, but for me Ancestry has one of the largest databases, which I find very helpful in my research projects in genealogy. This slide shows my DNA story, which gives my ethnicity estimate as 100% Irish, and I currently have 387 matches which are at fourth cousin level or closer. My DNA map shows that my ancestry comes from the general Roscommon and Longford area. This coincides with my research. Now, many people tell me that they have their ancestry tested to find out that they are delighted with the results, that they are 100% Irish. Well, if you're living in Ireland and your ancestral line never left Ireland, you're going to be 100% Irish, but the value is really in the cousin matches. They may indicate family lines who have emigrated. And again, with many of these family lines, you will find associated family trees. So if you're researching lines in relation to great aunts and uncles who emigrated, this is where the test comes into its own. It can assist you in tracing emigration pathways of ancestors who left the locality and married elsewhere in Ireland or abroad. This slide contains information on all my matches, which as of this date consists of 35,000 plus cousin matches, and of these 387 are fourth cousin or closer. Now, I recently carried out research for an elderly lady from County Cavan, and she had over 1,000 fourth cousins in her cousin match database. So you can see how large your cousin match database becomes. You can use the centimorgan range there to narrow down the nearest cousin matches, which may be of further assistance in your research. Your results can also be searched by match name, and you'll see here match name, surname, and match trees, and birth location and match trees, and you can search in each of those fields. And I'm just going to give you an example here in the next slide, where I have put in the surname McCabe in the surname and match trees field. Now, the story behind this is that a number of years ago, I was trying to locate an aunt, my grandmother, who would be my great-grandaunt, on the McCabe side from Atleague. This lady had emigrated with her sisters to America in the early 1880s, and Mary McCabe was quite elusive. I couldn't find her in any of the paper records. So I entered McCabe in the surname field in the cousin matches, and it produced a fourth cousin match, David S1929. You see it there, with 885 people in an associated family tree, and you see the common ancestor hint there as well, which indicated that it matched back to my family tree. So you see in this next slide then, Mary McCabe, my great-grandaunt, and her father and mother there on the left-hand side, Thomas McCabe and Mary O'Brien from Atleague. She married John Slayback in near Princeton and Trenton, or Mercer, New Jersey. The next slide then shows her family with John Slayback, Loretta, Aaron, William, and Mary. And this gives you an illustration of the information you can glean from cousin matches and DNA testing. This type of information is also available across all of the other companies, just in a different format. Other DNA sites, as I've mentioned, have similar search options and information. Now, you can also upload your DNA results to a free platform called Genmatch, and this allows you to compare your DNA results with those who have tested with other providers, and it's free. And if you want to have even more cousins to add to your database, I'd advise that you upload your results to Genmatch, and it's readily available online. Now, for those of you who might be interested in finding out more on genetic genealogy, there are two very good genetic genealogists worth following. One is an Irishman, Dr. Maurice Gleason. The other is Dr. Blaine Bettinger from the USA. And both have free online lectures on YouTube on the subject. So thank you for listening. I hope this lecture was of help, and good luck with your research. Thank you.